What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Monday, January 27th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure to check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there's any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Guys, Sunday went pretty freaking great. We hit both of our sides there on the NFL slate. We had the Eagles -6. That one came through. A crazy game out there from the Eagles, running the ball like just insane stuff. We didn't hit both of our props. We did hit one of our two props that we put in the pin comment from that game. McLaurin just couldn't quite get over that 59.5 receiving yards. He had 51, catching only 3 out of 7 targets. So feels like that one probably should have cashed. We nailed the one on Dallas Goedert, though, over 39.5 receiving yards at even odds. That was an easy cash. We also had the Chiefs -1.5. Like I said, anything under 3 was going to be totally fine. And sure enough, the Chiefs find a way to make it happen. That always happens. You don't want to be against Mahomes as a favorite of less than a field goal in a playoff game. You just don't want to do it. So Chiefs cashing there. Kelsey didn't get anything going in the game, though. He did not cash that prop, but Kareem Hunt over 34.5 rushing yards. That one was good as gold. There was no chance that one wasn't going to hit. So very good stuff. 4-2 on the day overall, hitting both of our sides out there. So good stuff. Hopefully you guys cash some bets over there. If you want to win all of your bets today on Monday, guys, hit that like button. It's a huge bonus to me. Really helps get these videos promoted out there, helps the channel grow, helps more and new people get exposed to my content. And that's a huge deal. I really appreciate everybody that takes a minute to subscribe to the channel as well. If you're new, if you like what I'm doing, if you want to see these videos every day or very close to every day, definitely want to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on these daily videos. Also, guys, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get early access to all of my videos, and it's just a really nice and extra way to show some support for the channel. It's $5 a month. You get a little bit of early access to my videos, and I really appreciate it. You also get a little badge next to your comments. Makes it 100% that I'm definitely going to answer your comment. It takes priority over non-member comments, at least a little bit, but I answer all of my comments out there, guys. So make sure you're getting in those comments, letting me know, anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything else you see here. And obviously any questions you have about today's NBA slate or college basketball or really any sport, I'll do my best to answer you. Or I have other guys that I can reach out to and ask, try and get your questions answered if I possibly can. Also, guys, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL. NCAA basketball has been on kind of a hot run. We had a little bit of a down day there on Sunday, but we did hit our free pick and our free pick on the NFL. So you guys need to be getting over to StumpTheSpread.com and signing up for that free email list, because you would have gotten 2 winners straight to your inbox. We had the Indiana Hoosiers getting 3.5 points at home against a red-hot Maryland team. Indiana at home, a very good spot for them. They end up coming through. Getting that 3.5 was very clutch. Also, guys, our free pick on the NFL, which was in the video you probably just watched yesterday, that one cashed as well. So loving what's going on over there at StumpTheSpread.com, guys. Get over there. Give it a chance, get signed up for that free email list at least, and you always want to check over there the free pick tab. There's always something good in there. So guys, let's go ahead and dive in. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Our first game of the night, we've got the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road here to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Lakers 25-18 on the season, winners of their last 3 in a row, blowing out the Wizards, okay, but getting that big win there against the Celtics, who played like crap in that game for sure, and then getting the 118-108 win there against the Warriors. That one was at Golden State. We were actually on Golden State in that game because we had erroneously been informed through, the Twitter sphere and everywhere else. It appeared that LeBron being downgraded to questionable for that game was going to result in him not playing in that game. Ends up LeBron plays, and yeah, it leads them to a win there over the Warriors. So that was pretty annoying, but a good win nonetheless for the Lakers. They come into this game pretty banged up looking, but we'll see who actually plays and who actually sits for this one. I mean, Rui Hachimura on the injury list. He's currently questionable with that calf injury. He did play against Boston, had 28 minutes, played relatively well, not amazing necessarily, but he could end up missing. This would be his 2nd straight game with calf soreness. You don't want to mess around with that too much. I don't think it's a huge problem, though. Dorian Finney-Smith getting the start, not a bad deal there for the Lakers, I don't think. So not too worried about Rui being out. Obviously, LeBron and AD being on the injury report is a big deal. LeBron dealing with that foot issue. He's probable. We'll be keeping a close eye on that and not believing very much of what we see out there on the internet. and Anthony Davis probable as well. In terms of the bench, guys, we really just see Gabe Vincent there on the injury report. He actually had a good game the other day, which is not something you've seen from Gabe Vincent very often. He had 12 points there against Boston, kind of came back to earth, only 7 points there against the Warriors. He's dealing with a knee issue. He's questionable for this game. So we'll see who the Lakers have available as they go on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who come into this game fresh off of a rare win. They got the 123-92 blowout win there against the Pelicans. We did see LaMelo Ball end up playing in that game. That wasn't a lock. He's been dealing with a wrist issue. He did play in that game, and he played relatively well, putting up 25 points there. I mean, we've seen better from LaMelo for sure. He was only, 9 of 21 or something like that from the field. Yeah, definitely seen better stuff from him. We did see, a pretty good shooting night out there from Charlotte in general. Good stuff from Miles Bridges as well. So we'll see what they can get done here down the stretch. When you've got Taj Gibson starting for your team, that's kind of a sign that maybe you're not super seriously trying to win basketball games. So we'll see what the Hornets can do in this one. Looking at the, injury report, it looks pretty good. Cody Martin going to be out for this game. Grant Williams obviously still out, but LaMelo Ball good to go. Obviously not having Brandon Miller sucks for this team, but we'll see what they can do here. The Hornets are getting 6 points at home in this one. We've got a total of 222. The Lakers 9-12 against spread on the road. They're 12-12 against spread when they're coming off a win. The Hornets 12-10 against spread at home. 6-4-1 against spread after a win. Guys, I think this is a spot we're going to see the Lakers take their foot off the gas. Will they eventually get the win in this game? I would say probably, but not for sure. I like the Hornets getting 6 points in this spot at home. They're playing pretty well. It looks like they're going to be pretty healthy. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw at least, Rui Hachimura, maybe even LeBron or AD eventually end up sitting this game out, not against a very good team. Should the Lakers still probably win? Probably, but 6 points feels like too much for me in this spot. Is this Charlotte play going to go in the pinned comment? We have a big slate today, so I don't think we're really going to have to force this one in. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Pistons going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Pistons 23-22 on the season. They are fresh off of a loss, and this is going to be their 4th straight road game. They lost their last time out at Orlando, 121-113. Obviously, that's not the easiest team to play against, especially now that they have Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero back. So we'll see what Detroit can do here in a bounce back spot. Obviously, they've been playing really well here down the stretch. Been loving what we're seeing from Detroit here. I mean, they've done a lot of very positive things. Like, this is a team that really was being held hostage by maybe the worst coach in recent NBA memory there, Monty Williams. I've had him described to me by friends who are Detroit Pistons fans as an absolute terrorist. So we'll see what they can get done now, obviously having, an actual coach in there, and things are going much better. They're looking like a playoff team this season, and that is a big deal. The Pistons come into this game relatively healthy. We do see Tobias Harris there on the injury report, which somebody that's, I would say important, if not super key to this team. I mean, he's only averaging 12.5 points per game, but he did play there against Orlando, only played 17 minutes. He's dealing with a head injury. He isn't in the concussion protocol, although he is, dealing with post-traumatic headache. So definitely a chance that he won't end up playing in this game Monday. If that moves Malik Beasley into the starting role, though, he's been playing much better than Tobias Harris this season, so I think there's a good chance that's, at least something of a boost for the starting lineup. Obviously, that takes a ton of scoring there out of the bench, so certainly something to keep an eye on, but I don't think that's going to super sway my lean on this game. Other than that, Detroit is very healthy out there, so that's a big deal. Cade playing well, Tim Hardaway Jr. playing well, Sar Thompson playing amazing defense, and yeah, Jalen Duren, a monster out there as well. So loving what we're seeing from the Pistons here as they go on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are playing some of their worst basketball of the season, guys. They've lost 3 in a row. They've lost twice in that span to the Rockets, and a 132-129 loss there at the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't want to use the word inexcusable, but it's borderline an inexcusable loss. They haven't had Evan Mobley for some of these games, but it's looking real bleak out there right now for Cleveland. Definitely one of the best teams in the East still, but we'll see what they can do. They've got to bounce back here in a pretty big way, at least at some point, but it's not going to be super easy here. They do get to play at home, but they're going up against the Pistons, a team that's been very good this season. It's going to be the first time these two teams meet, so no history there between them this year. Cleveland comes into this game. Looks like they're not going to have Dean Wade probably. They could also be without Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro, so that bench unit could be a little bit slim. Yeah, it's official. Dean Wade will not play in this game. Karis LeVert, dealing with that wrist issue, has also been ruled out, and Isaac Okoro, yes, he is also officially out with that ongoing shoulder problem. So Cleveland going to be far from full strength in this game. The odds makers do not care that they've got the Cavaliers as 10.5 point favorites. We've got a total of 233.5. Detroit 15-8-1 against spread on the road. They're 14-7 against spread after a loss. So very good trends here for Detroit in this game. Cleveland, they are 15-9 against spread at home still, but that's a number that's been getting much worse. We also see they're 4-4 against spread after a loss. So not a team that really bounces back in a huge way after losing games. Guys, there's no way around this. This is a system play. We're taking the Detroit Pistons, getting 10.5 points here on the road against a Cleveland team that's not playing well and not going to be at full strength. I think it's a little bit of a deal, at least if Tobias Harris doesn't play in this game, but I'm not being scared off, guys. I'm still taking the Pistons. That's way too many points. I think they probably lose this game, but they're going to lose it by single digits if they lose it at all. And Cleveland not playing their best basketball right now. I'm definitely loving Detroit in this spot. Next on the docket, we've got one of the marquee games tonight. We've got the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. The Rockets 30-14 on the season, fresh off of those 2 wins there against Cleveland. They won both games of that little home-and-home series. Each one was very, very close, don't get me wrong, but still wins there for the Rockets. Now they get to play something of a rivalry game. Ime Udoka going back to Boston to take on the Celtics. So we'll see what they can get done in this one. Obviously, we love what we've seen from guys like Jalen Green. Amin Thompson had his second career triple-double. Alperen Sengun's been playing great. Like, this team just up and down the roster is playing really, really well. It feels to me like they're maybe one piece away from being a borderline contending team, which seems insane to say, but I think it really is the case. Right now, they are very healthy coming into this game. Cam Whitmer, the only meaningful piece on the injury report. He's dealing with an illness. He's questionable for this game, so there's a chance he misses it, and he only played 10 minutes there at Cleveland their last time out, so I'm not terrified of the possibility of him missing this game. I don't think that really changes my lean on this one too much, whether he's in or out. The Celtics come into this game not necessarily playing their best. They did just get a 122-107 win there at Dallas. That's nice. Definitely a much-needed bounce back after getting slaughtered by the Lakers. Pretty embarrassing stuff there. We've seen, just the Celtics feel like they're sleepwalking through this season. They're, trying to get the back-to-back championships here. I don't think they care about the regular season too much. I think they should be carrying a decent amount because seeding is going to be pretty important. Like, do you really want to be playing tough road games at a team like Cleveland or any of these really tough teams out there in the East? Like, you're really going to be excited to go to Orlando at some point? Like, I mean, that's not going to happen. But still, not loving the effort level that we're seeing from the Boston Celtics on a nightly basis. So we'll see if they can back things up after that nice win there at Dallas with a good win at home against Houston. They come into this game pretty healthy. Derek White and Al Horford both on the injury report. White, he's dealing with that shin issue. He's questionable for this game, so we'll see if he plays. He played 36 minutes against Dallas, so that I would say bodes well for his, the chances of him playing in this one. He did pick up that injury during that game, so it could possibly be a situation where he can miss this game, but I think that's pretty unlikely. Al Horford, he's dealing with his toe issue. He also played against Dallas, only played 19 minutes. I don't know if there's a lot of clarity that I can offer on whether or not he's going to play, but also he doesn't move the needle in a huge way for me in this game. So looking at the numbers, the Celtics 6.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 222 out there. Houston 14-6-1 against the spread on the road this season. That is an NBA best record against the spread on the road. They're also 16-12-1 against the spread after a win. So not a team that really has a problem with huge drop-offs in effort after they get these big wins. The Boston Celtics, on the other hand, they are only 8-15 against the spread when playing at home. They are 6-24-1 against the spread after a win. They are a terrible team coming off of wins. That effort level is just not there for them on a night-to-night basis. Guys, fading the Boston Celtics coming off a win has basically become a system play at this point. We're taking the Houston Rockets, getting 6.5 points here on the road. Am I glad that it's on the road? Not necessarily, but teams have done pretty well against the spread on the road across the NBA as a whole this season, so definitely give me the Houston Rockets here. I think they keep this game very, very close. I could see them winning if Boston comes out flat or has one of those off nights shooting from three. Now, guys, we are betting against the Boston Celtics, which always comes with the disclaimer, they could shoot 50% from three in this game and win this game by 40 points. It's not impossible. It's very, very unlikely, though. I think this is a great spot. We definitely want to be on the Houston Rockets and those 6.5 points. Next up, guys, we got the Sacramento Kings going on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets. The Kings 23-22 coming into this game, fresh off of back-to-back losses there. They lost at the Denver Nuggets. Okay, that's a tough place to play. And then at the New York Knicks, another pretty tough place to play. So we'll see what they can do here in a bounce-back spot going up against the Brooklyn Nets. But we've loved what we've seen from the Kings at different points, and we've loathed what we've seen from the Kings at different points. I mean, right now, after being, going through it, guys, the Kings have gone through it this season. A coaching change, the whole 9 yards. They currently are residing in the 10 seed out in the West. So only 3 games out of the 6 seed, so definitely not not time to necessarily press the panic button, but the Kings definitely need to be a little bit concerned. They do come into this game fully healthy, so that's a big plus. Fox, Monk, DeRozan, Murray, Sabonis, all healthy and ready to go. Herter coming off the bench, Doug McDermott coming off the bench. Like, that's kind of a sign your bench isn't that great, but we do see that the Kings are going to be at 100% full strength for this game as they go on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets, who've now lost 6 in a row. They're coming off of a 9-point loss there against the Heat. This home stretch has not necessarily been super fun. They did keep one game really close there against the Knicks. They kept a game very close there at the Lakers recently, but it's been a pretty brutal season for the Brooklyn Nets. And they come into this game, guys, a lot of dudes on that injury report. We see Ben Simmons, Cam Thomas, and Cameron Johnson, guys, all listed as out for this game. We'll see if they're confirmed. It sounds like Ben Simmons is more like questionable for this one, but as a tanking team, guys, they're not really trying to, make these games close. Ben Simmons dealing with the back issue, lower back issue. He could be missing his 5th consecutive game. We see Cam Thomas, guys, they've been holding him out with that hamstring. They're not trying to play this guy. He's too good. They don't want to play him. He's dealing with that hamstring issue. I think there's very likely that he'll be out for a while still. We also see Cameron Johnson, maybe the most talked about trade target for contenders right now in the NBA. He's dealing with an ankle issue, apparently. We'll see what they actually, if they're trying to trade him or something like that. It's very important that he not get hurt right now and damage his trade value. So not going to be the full strength Brooklyn Nets, obviously. I mean, we see Clowney, Claxton out there. D'Angelo Russell will probably be playing, Keon Johnson, Zaire Williams. So it's not a terrible team necessarily, but not a team that's really incentivized to win. Looking at the numbers, the Nets are getting 10.5 points. We've got a total of 221.5. Sacramento, 8-11-1 against spread on the road, 7-12-2 against spread after a loss. The Nets, 7-13 against spread at home. They're 16-14-1 against the spread after a loss. Guys, this isn't a game that I have a ton of interest in. We've seen this Nets team play really hard and keep some things competitive out there. I don't have a huge lean on this game. If you're begging me for a side, go ahead and give me the Nets getting 10.5 here at home. I know it's the skeleton crew, but if we got D'Angelo Russell out there, Keon Johnson has done some good things. Like maybe they find a way to keep this game close. If you're looking for a total play on this game, I do think over 221.5 is in play for sure. Neither one of these teams play a ton of defense, but really, guys, not a game that I'm interested, especially on this very busy slate. Moving right along, we're looking at the Orlando Magic going on the road to take on the Miami Heat. The Magic 24-23 on the season and finally starting to get healthy. They're coming off of a huge 121-113 win there against the Pistons. We saw Franz Wagner look like he is back at full strength along with Paolo Banchero. They each scored 32 points in this game. Crazy stuff. This is one of the scariest 1-2 young guy punches in the NBA. They both got size. They can both shoot it. They can both handle it. Like, not a lot of weaknesses for this team, and they're starting to get healthy, and they're about to be a problem out there in the East, guys. Despite all the crazy injuries they've dealt with, they're currently sitting in the 7th seed. They're 13 games back of Cleveland, but they're only, 3 games back of Milwaukee Bucks for the 4 seed. That'd be a pretty scary team to see there in the first round for anybody. So loving what we're seeing there from Orlando. They're turning stuff on right now. They've got a couple guys still on the injury report. Most importantly, Jalen Suggs is on there listed as day-to-day. He's questionable with that left quadricep contusion now. He did play against Detroit, only played 16 minutes. I think there's a very good chance. He's a tough guy. I think he plays in this game. I don't know if he plays a ton, but I definitely think he will eventually end up being out there. So definitely think the Magic are going to be close at full strength for this game as they go on the road to take on the Miami Heat, who come into this game fresh off a 106-97 win there at the Brooklyn Nets. The big news right now for Miami, a 500 basketball team, is that Jimmy Butler is going to be back off of his suspension. Apparently, he's going to show up on time, and he's going to show up to play. How hard will he play? That's another question. So definitely the guy still wants to be traded, definitely wants out of there, but I don't know. That whole situation has become quite the disaster. All reports are he's going to be in the starting lineup. It's going to be Hero, Robinson, Butler, Bam, and Kel'el Ware, who's been an absolute monster. Once again, the Miami Heat hit it out of the park with another draft pick. Like, that's been crazy. We'll see if they use any of these draft picks. Like, you have to imagine the value of Ware and Jaime Jaquez Jr. and, Nikola Jovic would be very high if they're trying to add some sort of superstar talent. So we'll see if anybody's really available. See if anything happens at the trade deadline. My guess is that it's going to be a pretty dead kind of trade deadline, but we'll see what happens. Tyler Hero obviously playing out of his mind. The odds makers, guys, have this as basically a coin flip. The Heat are getting 1 point here at home. We've got a total of 207.5. Orlando 9-14 against spread on the road, but they are 13-10 against spread after a win. And guys, those numbers are going to get much better because they are finally healthy. The Miami Heat 9-11 against spread at home, but only 7-14 against the spread after a win. They're throwing Jimmy Butler back in the mix here, guys. I do not like this situation for the Miami Heat. Give me the Orlando Magic on the road. I think they find a way to get the win and cover in this game. The total of 207.5, I have no lean on that, to be honest, but I definitely think this is a good spot for the Magic. This has a great chance to end up in the pinned comment. I love what we're seeing from Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. They look absolutely crazy out there to me, and the Magic just have a bunch of dogs there in the second unit, and just in general, a very tough team. Next up, guys, we got the Memphis Grizzlies going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. This should be a very, very exciting game. I'm very excited to watch this one. The Grizzlies 31-15 on the year. They're currently riding a very nice 6-game win streak. I mean, taking down the Jazz their last time out, beating the Pelicans, beating the Hornets, wins like that don't really mean too much, but they've shown some consistency here, and they're doing a pretty good job of staying healthy, which really has been the biggest problem for this team. We saw Jaren Jackson Jr. put up 28, Zach Edey put up 19. Just good stuff there for the Grizzlies in that win against the Jazz. So you love to see it, and you love to see them staying relatively healthy. We've got Ja Morant, he's ready to go. Bane, Wells, Jaren Jackson Jr., Edey, he's playing well. Like, the second unit maybe leaves a little bit to be desired, and we also see Santi Aldama. He is on the injury report with an illness, so we'll see if he plays in this game or not. He did play against Charlotte and played 19 minutes, did not play well though, so we'll see if he can bounce back in there in the second unit. But right now, feeling pretty good about Memphis. They've got a tough opponent on deck though. They're taking on the New York Knicks, who are 30-16 on the season, fresh off a 13-point, very high-scoring game there against the Kings. This is a team that's been playing pretty well. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They did have that really kind of crappy-looking 17-point loss there to the Timberwolves, but taking care of business against some middle-of-the-road opponents as of late. So liking what we're seeing from the Knicks. They come to this game pretty healthy. Josh Hart there on the injury report, but I'll be pretty shocked if we see him sit out of this game, guys. Dealing with that knee issue, he is questionable for this game. He's fresh off playing 40 minutes there against Sacramento Kings, so we'll see. I mean, this could be his first game out since December 19th with right knee soreness, but I'll be a little bit surprised to see him miss this game. The odds makers like the Knicks here. They're 3.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 242.5. Memphis 14-8 against spread on the road, 18-12 against spread after a win. The Knicks 12-10-1 against spread at home, 13-15-1 against the spread after a win. Guys, I'm going to be leaning towards the Grizzlies and the points here. I don't know if I have enough of a lean on this one to put it in the pinned comment, because you just never know with these Knicks. You never really know with Memphis either. They come out a little bit flat here, and they haven't been playing the toughest teams lately, so this is going to be a test for them. We'll see what they can do at Madison Square Garden. I think they've got a good chance. I think we'll see Ja do some good things, and the size that they can put out there should bother the Knicks and Karl-Anthony Towns a little bit. So give me the Grizzlies on the points here, but not a play that's going in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're going to the New Orleans Pelicans going on the road to take on the Toronto Raptors. The Pelicans have now lost 2 in a row. They went on a nice little run there, winning 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 6, and doing pretty good, but just getting blown out at Charlotte 123-92. That'll leave a pretty bad taste in your mouth. So we'll see what New Orleans can do in this game. Obviously, the biggest problem for them this season has been player availability. So who are they going to have available for this one? Well, it looks like pretty much everyone. It appears that Zion's going to be, good to go for this game. That's obviously a very big deal. He did play against Charlotte in that game and had 28 points. He looked really good. Just the team did not, do a good job around him. Dejounte Murray is on the injury report with that finger/elbow issue. He's listed as questionable for this game. The last time he played was back on the 24th against Memphis. So we'll see if he plays in this one. When he has played recently, he has played well. CJ McCollum's been playing well recently, and obviously having Zion back, should be a big boost for this team. We'll see which way it goes here, though, as they take on the Toronto Raptors. Heading up north to take on the Toronto Raptors in the wintertime can't feel amazing. The Raptors have won 5 out of their last 6 games, which has been crazy. Wins against the Warriors, Celtics, a loss to the Bucks, a win over the Magic, and then back-to-back wins there at Atlanta. So they're headed back up north too. Could be a little bit of a temperature shock there, but we'll see what we actually get from Toronto. They've been a team that's been very all over the place, and they're a little bit banged up. We see quickly Jakob Poeltl on the injury report. I don't know, Kelly Olynyk on there as well. Quickly, guys, dealing with that hip issue. He's officially out for this game. Jakob Poeltl, questionable with his back problem. He played in both games there against Atlanta, so I think there's a decent chance he plays in this one, but it's far from a lock as the Raptors continue to tank things out. The odds makers like Toronto here, though, at -1.5. We've got a total of 222. New Orleans only 7-15 against spread on the road. They are 13-20 against spread after a loss. Toronto 15-7-1 against spread at home and 7-5 against spread after a win. Guys, this is a weird spot, I'm not going to lie, but I think with Zion back, we want to be with the Pelicans here. I would love it if Dejounte Murray was confirmed to be playing in this game, but Toronto's a little bit banged up. I think New Orleans is a team that's actually still kind of trying to win games. I don't think the Raptors really necessarily are, so give me the Pelicans in this one, but definitely not a lean that's going in the pinned comment. I do not trust the New Orleans Pelicans nearly as far as I could throw them, which is not very far. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls. Denver coming off of a very, very bad performance, guys. They just got absolutely dominated by Anthony Edwards, who put up 34 points. definitely, it was a an insane shooting night there from Minnesota. So we'll cut Denver a little bit of slack, but they need to bounce back here. This is a team at 28-17. Definitely still has work to do. They're currently in the 4 seed out there in the West, and they have a lot of work to do if they're going to catch either the Rockets or the Memphis Grizzlies, who are in the 2 and 3 spots. So we'll see what Denver can do here. Obviously, loving what we're seeing from Jokic. He's having an amazing year. That full court, not even heave, that full court baseball throw that just, I don't know. He just nailed. That was crazy. That was one of the craziest things you'll see. Like, I don't know what to say about this guy anymore. It's absolutely bonkers what he's doing. Loving what we're seeing from the Nuggets in general. I mean, obviously we've got great production from Russell Westbrook. We've seen Jamal Murray playing a bit better. We've seen him, shuffling with, messing with the starting lineup, messing with all the lineups, and it seems to be, generally speaking, working. So loving what we're seeing from Denver. We also love that they're very healthy coming into this game. A fully healthy first unit, a fully healthy second unit as they go on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls, who are falling apart, guys. They've actually lost 7 out of their last 8 games. They're 19-27 on the season. They've fallen way down the standings. They're now in the 10 seed out there in the East. So things are really, really becoming a problem there for the Chicago Bulls. And I don't know. I don't really know what the cure is, guys. I just feel like they need to blow this thing up because I just don't understand. They've got good players on this team. Like Zach LaVine is a monster. He should be, he could be the second best player, I think, on a championship team. Maybe even the best player if you put the right supporting cast around him. The Josh Giddey acquisition isn't looking amazing. We've seen, Vujic has had a good season at times. Oyedasumu is an interesting young player. Kobe White's been great when he's been healthy, but he comes into this game definitely still injured, guys, dealing with that ankle issue. So he sounds like he's probably not going to play in this game. So things looking a little bit weird there for the Chicago Bulls, who are 7.5 point underdogs here at home. We've got a total of 244.5. Denver 12-11 against spread on the road, 9-7 against spread after a loss. The Bulls 10-13-1 against spread at home. They're also 6-11-2 against spread after a loss. Guys, we're taking the road favorite here. Give me the Denver Nuggets at -7.5. I think this is a good bounce back spot from them. I don't think Vujic can do anything to slow down Jokic. I think we're going to see a big day there from the Nuggets, who are going to bounce back and dominate this Bulls team that's going to be just completely overmatched. My one concern is, Zach LaVine having a big night, but I don't think that'll even matter in the big picture for this game. So, yeah, give me some overs on the Zach LaVine props and give me the Denver Nuggets to get the win and cover. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we are looking at the Atlanta Hawks going on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Hawks come into this game having a rough time. They're down to 22-23 on the year. They've lost 4 in a row, and they've had some injuries and stuff like that along the way, but this is a team that's supposed to be, really, really good. Obviously, when you've got your maybe best player, at least second best player there in Jalen Johnson, dealing with all those shoulder problems, that's a big hit. That's a big hit. You're not going to be nearly as good of a team, but I definitely expected a little bit better from them. Wouldn't have thought they were going to lose back-to-back games there against the Raptors. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They come into this game very much not healthy. Trae Young, Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, all of them on the injury report. DeAndre Hunter on the injury report. So probably their 3 best players, at least, on the injury report. That's pretty tough, guys. Trae Young out with that hamstring. He's not going to be playing. You can't really rush back from that. Ricochet with that abductor issue. He's questionable, so he could be getting close to return. Jalen Johnson, guys, he's seeing more, getting more testing, getting more evaluation on that shoulder. He is out for this game as well. And DeAndre Hunter, guys, with an illness is questionable. So we'll see what Atlanta can do here. It's not looking super great as they head on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who've won 2 in a row, a 1-point win against the Mavs, and then a blowout win their last time out in just an insane shooting night from Anthony Edwards, where they got the 133-104 win against the Nuggets. So we'll see what they can do in this one, guys. The Timberwolves have not been a team you can trust this season, but like I said, we'll have to see. Maybe they're figuring some stuff out. Obviously, they're not going to have DiVincenzo for this game yet. He's going to be out for a while, but other than that, they're looking pretty healthy. Mike Conley in the starting lineup hasn't been a complete disaster, but if we had Trae Young out there, he would not be the guy that was guarding Trae Young, although that's not a concern in this game. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Timberwolves 10-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 219.5. Atlanta 10-13 against spread on the road, 8-14 against spread after a loss. Minnesota, guys, they're only 5-15-1 against spread at home. That's an NBA worst against spread record at home. They're also 10-13 against spread after a win. Guys, this is a game I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole, to be honest. I don't trust Minnesota to take this game seriously, but I also don't trust the Hawks to have the talent to keep things close against these Timberwolves. So, yeah, if you're forcing me to bet this, I'm going to go as small as you'll let me on the Atlanta Hawks getting 10 points. But really, guys, this is just a massive, massive stay-away spot for me. Next up, we're looking at the Washington Wizards going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. The Wizards 6-38 on the year. They are doing the best job of anybody in the NBA, it feels like right now, of just tanking things out. They just lost by 10 points at the Phoenix Suns. They got destroyed by the Clippers. Like, This is just a bad team that's designed to lose, and by golly, they are doing it. I saw a report that said Kyle Kuzma not very happy with the direction the Wizards franchise is taking right now. Like, bro, you signed with the Wizards. I don't know what you thought was going to happen, but this is what it is. So we'll see what happens down the stretch with him. But guys, this Wizards team just incredibly inept. They come into this game healthy. Cool. The Wizards are healthy. Whoop-de freaking do. We'll see if that results in anything positive here as they go on the road to take on the Mavs, who are just getting absolutely blown. Got absolutely blown out by the Celtics. Maxi Kleber broken foot in that game, so who knows when he'll be back. I would guess not this season, but obviously it's a foot. Things can be there's a lot of bones in there, guys. There's a lot of bones. So we'll see when he's back, but I don't think that's a huge deal. Right now, the problem for them has been the absence of Luka, but don't know when Luka's going to be back. I also don't know when Najee Marshall is going to be back. That's a big problem for them right now, guys. Dealing with an illness, he's going to be out for this game against the Wizards. I think they're pretty confident they can find a way to win this game without him. But, guys, it can get a little bit sketch. I mean, you got, no Luka. It's Kyrie, Clay, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford. The second unit has been playing really well, so I got to give him some credit. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie, probably a starting level guard for a lot of NBA teams, and we've seen good stuff from Jaden Hardy this season, so there are positives, but they're starting to maybe get a little bit short on big men, which isn't something I thought I'd be saying about this Dallas Mavericks team. So looking at the numbers here, the Mavs are 12-point favorites. We've got a total of 231.5. Washington 7-12-2 against spread on the road, 15-20-2 against spread after a loss. Dallas 12-11 against spread at home, 11-9-1 against spread after a loss. Guys, this is another one of those games I'm not really super interested in. I could see the effort level being down here for the Mavericks, but it's always down there for the Washington Wizards. So 12 points is a lot, though, so I don't know, guys. This is kind of a pick your own adventure here, and you're probably going to lose either way. My lean on this one is to take the Wizards, as 12-point underdogs. Maybe they find a way to keep this game close, but do not make me bet this game. Please, for the love of God, do not make me bet this game. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks going on the road in this one to take on the Utah Jazz. The Bucks coming off a 127-117 loss there against the Clippers. Yeah, they had no answer there for James Harden. Shocker that this Milwaukee Bucks team can't play perimeter defense. Who would have thought? Me and everybody that's watched basketball this season. But anyway, the Bucks at 25-18 on the season. Kind of weird news coming out that they're more than willing to shop guys like Bobby Portis and Chris Middleton. That probably doesn't help your team cohesion too much, and sure enough, we do see Middleton and Bobby Portis both there on the injury report. Bobby Portis listed as out. Middleton, Bobby Portis out for personal reasons. So that's kind of interesting. And Middleton out with that ankle. Well, I guess he's not technically out. He's questionable for this game. So the Bucks going to be a little bit slim there on the bench. AJ Green sidelined as well. Most of the starting lineup's good to go. So we'll see what happens there. But definitely not looking like it's going to be for sure the full strength Milwaukee Bucks here as they go on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. The Jazz, another team that's been very successfully tanking things out. They've lost their last 5 in a row, just getting blown out there at Memphis. They're back home now, so maybe they'll be given the green light to try a little bit, but things have not been good for Utah, guys. They come into this game, John Collins and Walker Kessler both on the injury report. Jordan Clarkson out. Johnny Zhang also out. So John Collins dealing with an illness. He's questionable. I would guess they'll probably just go ahead and hold him out. Walker Kessler, guys, shoulder issue has him questionable for this game. Another player that could be the target of a lot of trades. So him sitting out games makes a lot of sense to me as well. So not loving what we're seeing from the Jazz right now, guys. Not necessarily loving what we're seeing from the Bucks either. Utah getting 9 points at home, a total of 235. Milwaukee 8-11 against spread on the road, 8-9 against spread after a loss. The Jazz 8-10 against spread at home and 16-16 against spread after a loss. Another one of those games, guys, I really don't want to have too much of an interest in. I think this is probably a spot where Utah could keep things close, especially playing at home. They've got some guys that are healthy and going to be trying, some guys who just can't slow down. So we'll see what they do. Give me the Jazz at +9 in this one, but once again, not a game that I have any interest in betting on whatsoever. Last but not least, guys, after a few clunkers, we actually have an interesting game. We've got the LA Clippers going on the road to take on the Phoenix Suns. The Clippers playing pretty well, coming off that 127-117 win there against the Bucks. They've actually won, 6 out of their last 8 games. Their losses, a close one against the Celtics and a kind of blowout one against the Bulls. That was a weird one, but maybe that was that wasn't the game they rested everyone. Well, I don't know, guys. The Clippers a little bit all over the place, but we've been loving what we've seen from Harden and Norman Powell lately, and Kawhi coming back hasn't been the big disruptor that I thought it possibly could. In that game against the Bucks, obviously Harden was the one really leading the way there, but we did love what we saw from Norman Powell. 33 points from him. Not a whole lot of contributions from the bench necessarily, and Kawhi only 24 minutes, but 18 points and 8 of 17 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. He's starting to get back to closer to his old self. So love that journey for Kawhi. The Clippers come into this game, only Chris Dunn on the injury report. He's going to be out for this one, but Other than that, they are healthy and ready to go, which is a big deal, especially at this point in the season. Not a lot of teams can boast to be this healthy. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Suns, who have won 4 out of their last 5. We've got Nurkic in the news, talking about how he has no relationship with Budenholzer. Yeah, that's because Budenholzer hates you because you suck, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you have not been helpful for this team in any way. They've been playing better since you've been benched. So we'll see what goes on with the Suns. They're fresh off a 10-point win against the Wizards, a blowout win against the Nets, a loss against the Cavaliers, but wins against the Pistons. I mean, I don't know, guys. They're doing some positive things. They're beating the terrible teams, but they're losing to everybody good. So that brings up an interesting point because they're about to play against a Clippers team that's pretty good, but playing on the road. The Suns not going to have Ryan Dunn available for this game. He is listed as out right now, dealing with that ankle issue. Yeah, he's officially not going to be playing in this game. Other than that, they're looking pretty healthy, so we'll see what goes on in this one. I mean, Tyus Jones, Devin Booker, KD, Bradley Beal there in the second unit. Maybe he's getting used to that. I don't know. We'll just have to see, guys. The Suns getting 1 point here at home. We've got a total of 223.5. The Clippers, 11-9 against spread on the road, but 17-8 against spread after a win. This is a good team coming off a win. Let me tell you what. The Suns, guys, they're only 6-15-1 against spread at home. Terrible. 4-17-1 against spread after a win. That's all I need to hear, guys. We're fading the Suns coming off a win. We're fading the Suns at home. Give me the Clippers here at -1. They've just got to win this game. They're going to have Kawhi playing, and he's playing well. They've got everybody else playing well. I do worry about a letdown game out of Harden after such a big game, but that might not even matter with Kawhi and Powell both killing it out there. So definitely give me the Clippers -1 here on the road. I think it's a very good spot for them. That's all the games we have for tonight, guys. Obviously, a very loaded NBA slate. Make sure you click that link in the description. Get over to stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. Check out our premium plays if you're interested in signing up for that. We'll have a bunch of college basketball plays every single day. NHL plays every single day. Very soon, we'll have a bunch of Super Bowl plays up there as well. We'll probably have a blog post over there also with a bunch of crazy Super Bowl props. I'll be cooking up a big Super Bowl video for you guys at some point here leading up to the big game as well. So lots of good stuff happening over there at stumpthespread.com. Also, guys, do me a big favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Comment down below anything you want to say about this video or anything to do with today's slate, tomorrow's slate. I answer every single comment. So thanks everybody for watching. We will see you tomorrow for more sports betting action.